All right, so today we're going to talk about the World Cup. And I'm so excited because it happens every few years. But you know what? The interesting thing is that we have soccer matches all the time, or football if you prefer. And today we're going to talk about some of the other things that we haven't gotten a chance to talk about yet, which is we're going to talk about the words about players and positions today. So this way you're going to have 10 new words and you're going to know three things: the syllable stress, you're going to know the vowels and the consonants so that you can pronounce them, unlike me, perfectly, right? Because we watch games, I think, all the time. So let's get started with those 10 words. And if you have any questions at all, if you're watching this live, because it happens to be live right now, I'm recording this because of the World Cup right now in 2026, but it's always going to be evergreen. So put your questions in the chat box and I'll answer them as we go. And if you're not watching this live, then enjoy the replay. So what 10 words are going to be super important, right? You say, oh yeah, these when I'm talking about soccer, they're so important. In life in general, right, are these words that important? Probably not for you, unless that's your job. But we're going to break them down later and we're going to see how parts of these words are actually really important. Like the word keep, right? Or goal instead of goalkeeper. So we can break them down and these skills are transferable to everyday life too. So here we go. Let's get started. So we've got these things that you might notice. I'm going to point them out. You'll see the word at the top in the regular spelling in English. Then you're going to see this, and you might notice some weirdness about that, and that's called IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet. So if you don't know it, don't worry, don't go out and study it, but stick with me because I'm going to teach you how to just pick up a symbol here or there that's important to you. So if you hear something repeated and you say, oh, that's how you say that, just pay a little more attention to that one symbol. And here we go. First word. 3 syllables, but what's interesting about this, when I look it up in the dictionary, if I'm looking up this IPA version, then I'll see a little mark on the top, always, and sometimes I see a little mark on the bottom. So this word's a little bit different. You don't always see that mark on the bottom. That's what we call secondary stress. So if goal is my, hopefully you're still seeing me now. Let me check. How funny. It was live. Let me try to, maybe I need to restart it. Hold on a second. I don't even know what to do with this. I'm going to keep going. It says chat disconnected, but let's see. Anyway, somebody, if you're out there, give me some sign in the chat that I'm still live because I don't see it. But let me go back. We were talking about syllable stress. And if you look in the dictionary, then you're going to see always a mark on the top for the what we call primary stress, right? So up here, you're going to see a little kind of hash mark, we call it. Let's say the word was keeper, just keeper. Who is the keeper of this this crypt, let's say, the crypt keeper? So if it were just the word keeper, it would be keeper, keeper. That would be the primary stress. But now we take the word goal and put the word keeper together. We've got a compound word. We say, well, keep used to be the primary stress. What's going to happen? We knock it down just a little bit. So we call that secondary stress. Most words are going to have primary stress and no stress, but this one has secondary stress in the middle. I love that it's primary, secondary, no, because it's like walking down the stairs. It's like goalkeeper, goalkeeper, goalkeeper. And my pitch is going to go down just one step at a time. So not that this word itself is important or the stress of this word, if you mess it up, it's going to be a problem, but it's a skill that you can transfer to other things, right? All compound nouns, for example, they follow a certain pattern. There's different patterns. So you can know that by understanding. So 3 syllables, what's important? It's got secondary stress. The vowels now, we've got the first one is what we call a diphthong. So it's 2 sounds that are together. And we're going to look at that. How it's interesting is that it's going to keep your tongue in the back. So the only thing you're going to do is move your jaw, right? Oh, 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 go, 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 goalkeeper. And then I've got the E sound, which if you look at the symbol, it looks like your regular I, E, E, E. I know that's confusing depending on your language. E, O, E, O, E, O, E. Last one, most important sound in English, not just the vowels, all the sounds. This is called schwa. If you haven't seen it, it's a rotated E. So important, it's also in my logo. How do I make the sound? Tongue is in the middle. Uh, uh, uh. Lips relaxed, jaw just open slightly. O, E, O, E, Goalkeeper, 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 goalkeeper. Vowels, super important. Last one, long word we're starting with here today. I've got a G, my tongue is in the back. G, G, G. If you don't know this symbol, it's an L with a little tilde in the middle. That means it's a dark L. Goal. Also, the back of my throat is being activated there, back of the tongue. Goal, goal, goal. And look, then we have a K, which is also in the back. K, k, k. Goal, k, goal, k. A lot of that's in the back. Then my tongue goes to the front. E, E, E. Lips then. P, p. That's in the middle. My tongue is in the middle. Then it raises for what we call a vocalic R. Goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, 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 goalkeeper. Don't forget that pitch is going to go do, do, do. That was a long one, number one. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box. Feel free to, guys. You can always ask anytime. Let's look at the next one, though. But don't forget, we have a really good saying, and it's probably like training in any sport, right? If you are playing soccer or football, then you want to train really slowly, right? Each movement you want to get muscle memory for. So we have a saying. We say slow is smooth. Don't go too fast. Slow is smooth. And then when you're smooth, smooth is fast. You can go as fast as you want to. It's the same with pronunciation. So think about your tongue. Move it very slowly, be super aware, and you're going to create that muscle memory, which is going to result in what? Automaticity. So you're going to be automatic after a while, but go slow. Slow is smooth, then smooth is fast. Excuse me. Live is always an interesting thing. So, next one. Next word, simpler compared to the last one, or more simple, your choice. 3 syllables. Look, only regular primary stress. This is pretty normal on the second syllable. Da da da. Defender. Then we've got 3 vowels. We haven't seen this one yet. Relax your lips. Tongue in the front. I, I, I. Then I'm gonna open up. I, I, I. I, 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 I. I think I might need a cough drop. I, 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 I. 2 front vowels. Then my tongue goes in the center for what? Schwa, like we just said. I, Defender. Defender. Consonants, as I look for a cough drop, consonants are going to be, woo, what a morning already. Lost electricity. Can't have a cough drop. Craziness. My D is, let me get this big mouth now. My tongue is going to be on the bump, on that ridge behind the teeth. D, D, D. Don't forget to explode the air. D, 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 D. Diff, diff. So my tongue is up for the D. It goes down for the I, D, D. Then the F, love this one. Bottom of the teeth on the top, plus your bottom lip. Creating friction. So it's d, 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 diff, diff, diff. Then we know that E is in the front again. Diffe, diffe, diffe. Tongue goes back up to the bump for the N, but the air goes out my nose. My tongue is already there, so I just pop it open. D, 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 d. Defend, defend, defend. We already know the schwa is in the middle, and then it lifts to touch the sides of the molars with the sides of your tongue. Start at schwa and just lift and touch the sides. Defender, 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 defender. Two not so easy ones to begin with. Today's actually got a lot of longer, more compound words. So now we have two words, center and back, and we put them together. We say, oh, that's a position, right? Or that's the name of the player. So now what am I going to do with the stress? It's not like last time, because it's two words. Look at this little hyphen. Compound words kind of go through a process, right? First they start as two words, then they get a little closer, we put a hyphen, then sometimes we take the hyphen away and it just kind of becomes one word, one thing. So it's kind of in the middle of that process, and you might see stress shift over the years. So we've got center and then back, center, back, center, back. Could also be, this is my guess, it's changing, center back. I've heard both, but it's not in the dictionary yet. So when you see a word that's only one syllable, it doesn't need that little hash mark like we see up here, because if there's only one syllable, that is the stressed syllable. So we've got our syllables. There's three. We know how it goes. Vowels, we've done this before. In the front. In the middle. Then we go back to the front. Get it back to the front. Look how open my jaw is and how forward my tongue is. We had now we have center back, center back, center back, center back, center back. Think about just the vowels. We do this in layers. Now we've got, like we said, we've got that vocalic R's in the middle where your tongue lifts and it's going to touch the sides of the teeth, the molars. But before that, we haven't talked about the S yet. It is also right on that bump on the inside of your mouth. So create friction there. S, the N out the nose. The T also on the bump, tongue on the bump. Explode it like the D, duh, duh, duh. But no voicing here. T, t, t. Cent, cent, cent. Now what? I've got this T. Then I go to the schwa. T, ter, ter. Center, right? Lift and touch. Center. I love the ones where they include the lips like a B, two lips together. Explode, vibration. B, 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 b. And we talked about the K, it's in the back. K, k, back. B, b, b. Ba, back. Center, back. Right? I'm walking you through it. I know it's like little teeny tiny things one at a time, but I still know it's a video. It's very one way. Even if there's no questions, even if you're watching this as a replay, doesn't matter, because every month I do something very special. We have a master class and the topics rotate. And that's awesome because one day you can come for R's, next one TH's, next one front vowels. Every month it's different and it's live, which means you get to jump into the hot seat and you say, oh, I want to try. And then you'll get my feedback right then and there. You can't do that in a video. So it's so important to be live. I want you to join up. It's totally free. Just go into my community. You just have to be in the community, which is already free. So check those links down below, and I hope to see you there next time. Next one, a symbol we haven't seen yet, and another consonant I think we haven't seen yet. Again, look at that. Yeah, look at that dash in the middle. You say, okay, here's two words. We're going to push them together, make a new thing, but the process isn't quite complete yet. So at least in the dictionary, you don't see any of those marks, right? But they're each one syllable, so I know they're each going to be stressed. Two syllables, one thing, both stressed so far. Might change. Full back. Full back. We haven't seen this one before. It looks like a little horseshoe. Speaking of back, your tongue is in the back for that one. Your lips are relaxed. As in push. Push the door, or book, full. Feel your tongue sliding in the back. It's not fool. Look, my lips are rounded. No. Full. When I see that horseshoe symbol, my lips should be relaxed. We've seen the other one. We've done the other word. A, b, 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 ba, back. So let's look at those other consonants. We've done the dark L, tongue in the back, full. My tongue is already in the back for that horseshoe. Ul. How do I begin? I think we did do this one. Teeth, bottom lip, friction, full back, full back. I don't see any questions in the chat box, so I'm just going to keep going. I wonder if you notice the difference here. Look at these two and tell me, what's the difference? Often when there's a choice in pronunciation, it's like one vowel, right? Oh, we can say it with schwa, or we can say it with this, but that's not the case here, right? It's not e versus I. These are all the same. All the vowels are the same. Look at this stress pattern. Each has 3, but one says primary, secondary, no, like that first example we did. And this one says, primary, nothing, like the last couple of examples. So maybe we can see how it's been changing, right? And this word is kind of right in the middle. I don't see a dash of any kind. Of course, it's not the full word middle, right? It's like the prefix would be. But that's okay. We can see what I'm trying to point out is we can see in the dictionary sometimes when the word is shifting and hasn't really landed on what it's going to be yet, right? And they're all changing. Language is constantly changing. So I think that's super interesting. And I wanted to point out that, oh, look at that. Right now, if you look at the dictionary, you'll see that. Who knows, if you're watching this as a replay in a few years, maybe that won't be true anymore. I go into the same dictionary and I see changes over the years. So very interesting, I think. Nerdy, but interesting. So we've got 3 syllables, but like we said, it's 2 versions with the stress pattern. We can go midfielder, or we can say midfielder, whichever one you like right now, because they're both there. The vowels, nothing new here. Got our short I, tongue in the front. Then we've got the E, right? The one that looks like a small I. Lowercase I, we got a kind of a small capital I, then a small lowercase I, that's E, then our schwa, tongue in the middle, This one has the R afterwards, so I just lift it, Feel the sides of your tongue touching your molars, Midfielder, I'm gonna go with the first possibility here. For the consonants, anything new? Well, hold on. We did the B earlier. B, 2 lips exploding and vibration. The M is 2 lips, but the air goes out your nose because that's a nasal sound. So, If you haven't analyzed these things before, even in your first language, it's worth doing because, oh my God, so interesting. I didn't realize. I was just talking. Didn't notice all the little things that my tongue was doing, or my lips, or my jaw, or my throat even. Like, speech is amazing, I think. So we've got I, m. We know the D, tongue on the ridge, on the bump. D, mid. Then we've got that F, which is teeth and lip. Fee. My tongue is in the front. I'm smiling. Fee. Now, this is interesting. This L right here, right? You could do a dark L if you choose. It would be fine. I think it's good practice. But in the dictionary, you're going to see it's a regular L. A regular L is where, on the bump, la. So it's feel. And then right after that's the D, on the bump. Old. To the middle, lift for the vocalic R, midfielder. Whew, we're like halfway there. So if you haven't noticed yet, it's okay. I'm just not being random. It's okay if you're not getting these on the first try, or you've been saying the words for years and suddenly you're like, oh, really? That's how you're supposed to say it? Because I haven't been doing that. Totally fine. But the point is, have a system, right? Have these layers. And you say, okay, I'm always going to do this first, then this, right? And if you don't already have a system that works for you, use mine. Always going to be the same process you're going to see. Here we got a new sound. We've got a consonant that's, well, one is a semi-vowel and the other one is a consonant that we haven't seen yet today. So I'm liking this. The more you learn, the faster it goes. So here we go. 2 syllables, easy one now. Only stress on the first one. Da-da, winger, winger. Way easier compared to the other ones we've had today. We've got the short I, we call it. I. Pull the tongue in the middle for the schwa. Winger, winger, winger. Notice my lips are relaxed for both of those. Consonants. Oh, I love this one. This W is what we call semi-vowel. And so it's kind of on the fence between consonants and vowels. And it's what we call co-articulated, meaning I have to keep 2 things in mind when I articulate this, right? Number 1, my lips need to be round. W. Okay, cool. I think we all do that. W. But what is your tongue doing? It's pulling in the back, way in the back, and just barely creating some friction there. So, w. Do you ever stop and think about that? I think it's very interesting. So it's wi. Then what happens? A lot of people see this N and the G and they say nug. No, an NG in English is not a combination of N and G. It's a totally different thing. That's why it has a different symbol here. You see this N with the little hook at the bottom. That's our NG sound. Very interesting. We've had a lot of back of the tongue sounds today, right? Here's another one. Feel the back of your tongue lifting, right? And then it's a nasal too. We've got 3, M, N, and NG. So the air goes out of my nose. Tongue in the back, air out the nose. We've got w, I, wing. I add that ER on there. I've got my schwa in the middle. Raise it up for the vocalic R. Feel the sides of your tongue touching your molars. Winger. I love this word. It has so many interesting things about it. So we're like halfway through, right? More than half, actually. This is a big, heavy one, I think, today. We might run over time a little bit, but that's okay. I don't see any chat questions yet, so I'm just going to keep rolling through. Right now we're doing this live because we've got the World Cup this year, but you're going to watch these soccer matches all the time, or football matches, if you want to call them, right? So we've got a couple more that we're going to talk about. Here we go. Ooh, easy one. Well, in terms of syllable stress, right? I see this little guy. I see it split up. Okay, that's 2. I see one new thing. And it's not, oh, I made a mistake. It's two syllables, obviously. Stress on the first one. Forward. Da-da. Forward, right? And, oh, I really made a mistake on this slide. Totally wrong. So our vowel is this one, which I really like because it's not in most languages. I see the letter O, and I think fo. No. Jaw more open, tongue in the back. Fo. More than you think. Fo. And then that W, that co-articulated W. W. Got the schwa. Well, hold on, I should say 2 vocalic R's here, right? I've got my F, then all, fall. Vocalic R, but it's not coming after a schwa, at least this time. Look, it will over here, but not over here. So it's for. I have to pull the tongue forward and then up and touch the teeth. It's not like the schwa where I just lift. It's coming from the back. So for. Then my co-articulated W. For to the schwa, up to the r, Then I can end with my d, tongue on the ridge, and explode with vibration. D, erd, f, forward, 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 forward. If you think 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's words that I say, you could easily put those together. Forward, forward, forward. Whew, getting good. What is actually that method that I use, or that methodology? Number 1, always think about the syllables first. You don't need a dictionary for this. If you train your ear enough, you can say, oh, primary stress, primary stress, primary, no stress, no stress. That one was in the middle, secondary stress. Think about how many are in the word too. Start noticing that. Why? Because in many languages, there's a rhythm system where it's more like da 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 da. It's easier to notice the syllables, but because we reduce and stretch so much in English, sometimes it's hard to know how many you're supposed to say. So do pay attention to that, right? Where's the stress? Sometimes there's even changes, right? If you go from a noun to a verb, or to an adjective, like you have project and project, for example, right? Notice the syllables first is my point, because it's more like the music. Next, we do vowels, because in English, I don't have to tell you that the spelling is not the same as the pronunciation, and the vowels are super tricky. Like when you see a double O, you don't know if it's oo or or like spelling is difficult, but know your vowels. Do vowels next, because that's where we get the clarity in the word. We know which one you're saying. Get versus got, for example, right? Bed versus bad, for example. And those are those 3 things that we talked about. You might notice, like we said, double O, maybe there's some tricks you can learn. And also pay attention to what we just said. The stress is going to change how the vowel sounds, because it's going to be longer and louder and higher, depending on if it's stressed or if it's not. Next one. Last of all, then you worry about the consonants. Why? They're most consistent across languages, to be honest, right? And when I'm thinking about the consonant, because you're so used to most of them, yeah, sure, you have, stuff that's not in your first language, maybe like THs or Rs or that dark L, like we said. Notice, where's my tongue going? What's happening to the air? And are my vocal folds activated? Are they vibrating, like we said? Pay particular attention to when you have a bunch of consonants together. We call that a cluster, right? And how do those clusters kind of form when we put words together and I have connected speech as well? So keep these considerations in mind, but always follow the method. Syllables, vowels, then consonants. Maybe I should go this way. Syllables, vowels, then consonants. Always in order. It's absolutely a method. There's a process here. Number 8, back to an easy one. 2 syllables, right? I can see now, boom, there's my little mark, so I know it's the first syllable. It's striker, da-da, I-er. We haven't seen this combination yet. Remember, diphthong is 2 vowels together, but the other one was O, and my tongue was in the back for both. I just needed to move my jaw. Now, I have to do 2 things, move my tongue and my jaw. So I start in the middle, move forward to that short I we saw, I, moving my tongue and closing my jaw at the same time. Then we have the schwa, which we know is in the middle. So we had I, striker, striker, striker. Let me finish this cough drop, because we're live. We've got these consonants now. I think we've done them all, no problem. Think about where we said in the mouth. On the bump, very, very common. So see if you can remember those. For the first 2 at least, right? I've got some friction on the bump. St, st. Friction, tap, release. St, st, st. St, st, st. But hold on, here's a cluster of 3, as we said. St. And then there's an R, but it's not after a vowel. I've got 2 R's here, right? This one's what we call regular R. Then we'll do that vocalic R we've seen a lot of today. So what's the difference? In the regular R, if this is my tongue, the tip of my tongue is going to curl. So it's st, r, st, r. Friction, explode, and then curl. St, r, st, r, str, 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 str. And then what? Then I've got my vowel. I drop it down in the middle, then go forward. I. Stry. Remember that K? Where is it? In the back. K. Stry. K. Back to the middle. Lift for that vocalic R. R. Like we said, feel the sides of your tongue touching the molars of your teeth. So, st. Feel the explosion. St. Curl it back. This might be difficult. It does take some work. You want to create that muscle memory. Some people need to even, let's say, strengthen the tongue because they just have a hard time curling it because it's not in their first language, right? And if that's you, that's cool. Just keep doing it. Striker. Striker. Keep in mind that syllable stress. Start high, go a little lower. Da-da. Striker. Just like a team, right? Just like a team. After a while, you can start like reading those IPA symbols. You get the sense of syllable stress. It's easier to follow the patterns, right? But after a while, you say, okay, I'm kind of learning all these things. I wonder what other people also are into this thing, right? It's now maybe even a passion, but all my other friends, they don't know about this. So I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? Don't worry, there's a community out there for you. So make sure that you join my community. Like we said earlier, you're going to have the master class at the end of every month. And also we have a storytelling event too. So there's lots of community only benefits, totally free. Check the link down in the description as well. So we've got, look at this. Now remember earlier, we had one that there was a choice in the pronunciation. So we saw 2 variations. See that too, 2 choices, right? But I don't see a difference in the stress. I do see a difference right here though. So we're saying both are correct. I happen to do the first one. The second one sounds a little bit British to me, a little bit American old-fashioned in a way, right? Not wrong though, not wrong. Do as you like. Syllable stress though, it's not going down the stairs. It's primary, no stress, then secondary stress right in the middle. So it's da-da-da, 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 substitute, or toot, as you prefer. So what are our syllables? What are our vowels? We haven't seen this one yet. One of my favorites. It looks to me like an umbrella. So it's umbrella. Tongue is in the middle. Jaw is a little bit more open than schwa. Schwa is this, by the way. Remember, this is short I. My tongue is in the front. Relax my lips. Then we've got this one. We haven't seen it today, but most languages have it. Ooh, right? Lips, tongue in the back. Ooh. Different from my horseshoe, which is no lips here. Relaxed. Book. Ooh, boot. Or here, toot, substitute. Or I'm adding that Y at the end if I want. Then it's going to be toot. How do I do that? My tongue goes down. Y. And actually the back of my tongue is up. So the tip of my tongue is down at my teeth, but the back, or not back, but middle is up on the palate. Y. ute, substitute, if you're going to go that route. So consonants, we've seen it, the S on the ridge, giving some friction. S, b, two lips, voicing. B, t on the tongue, on the ridge, sorry. T, t, t. And then why do I have the y here and here? Is it a vowel or is it a consonant? It's a semi-vowel. So it rides the fence between both. That's why we have maybe a little bit of trouble articulating it or kind of compartmentalizing it. It's a vowel and a consonant, so it changes around a lot. Or its behavior, let's say, as a sound. So I'm going to put it in both categories today. So it's s, b, st, st. There's a cluster again. Sorry, let me do that again. Sub, st, t, t, I, t, t. And then I have my choice. Oo, to, or tu, substitute, whichever one you prefer. And then I'm going to end on that T. So tongue back forward on the ridge, on the bump, and explode it, but no voicing. Toot. No voicing there. Substitute, if you like. Woo! All right, we're getting there. Looking good. Now we see that variation I mentioned before. Often when you have a choice in the pronunciation and you have a couple of options, usually it's the vowel that differs here. So here's a good example finally. Look, I've got a tun, and I've got an tin. One is the schwa, tun. One is the short I, tin. So I can say captain or captain, whichever one I like. But the stress is going to still be on the first one, no matter what. 2 syllables in both cases, obviously. Whew. Okay, so I've got my which we did, I think, in one of the very first ones. Tongue is in the front, and my jaw is very far open. Ca. Feel how before that sound, I've got the K. So remember, my tongue is in the back. K. And then my tongue tip is kind of in the bottom there, so I just have to open up. Ca. What's next? I've got that P rolling in, so that's 2 lips like the B, but unvoiced. Cap. Then what? My lips are busy, so my tongue is available. It can go right up to that T sound on the bump, on the ridge. Capped. Then I've got my choice. Is my tongue going to be in the middle? Tun. Back on the ridge. Tun, or tin. Is it going to stay in the front? Captain, or captain, or captain, tin. Your choice. Either way, I'm going to end up with the N on the bump, but remember the air goes out my nose because it's a nasal sound. So tun, captain, whichever way you like. Both are good. It's kind of like I've noticed a lot of these words are broken up, like we said, into words that are kind of more useful than when you put them together, unless you happen to be talking about soccer, unless it happens to be World Cup time. But there's words that we say all the time, or maybe we avoid them because in English they're like, not quite sure. I don't know if I learned it right? I'm still maybe making this mistake. People tell me this all the time. They're like, wow, for years I've been doing it wrong. So think about these words and kind of break them up into their more useful parts. Now you're going to see different numbers attached here to these words, kind of like this one. You might have noticed that Instead of goalkeeper, that was our first one. That was number one. Why is 138 on keep, right? But 635 is on goal. If we take all the words in English, all of them, and we put them in order of how often we say them, their frequency, we can say which words we can see which words we say more often, right? If I put them all in order, I can see that this word back, out of all the words in English, it's 102 on the list. That's pretty common, right? Maybe I say that word once a day even. So I want to make sure that, oh yeah, my ah sound, every time I do that, ah, I'm going to say this word maybe once a day, every other day. Super important that I can say it right because it's a high frequency word. And high frequency, I'm all about high frequency. What are the most important words that can be helpful to you? Because often we just avoid them or we don't even know that we're making mistakes, right? Because that's just the way we learned it. But guess what? You can actually unlearn it, or I should say reprogram this. It's what we call a fossilized error. So after a while, your brain thinks it's correct. That doesn't mean it's right though. That's just how you learned it. So now we gotta know, oh yes, as like this. I need to open my jaw. Oh yeah, that's my tongue in the back, right? Like these other sounds. Like we said, those skills are going to transfer. So why wouldn't you just take a little bit of time every day, like 2-3 minutes a day, open up your email, and you're going to get one of those high frequency words. It starts with number one, the number one most important word in English, and it literally just goes down the list. So for 1 year, you can get 365 of the most important words down pat, right? You can be the, let's say, champion of those words. And so it only takes 3 minutes a day. You're going to open your email anyways. It's super convenient. You'll just watch a little video of me kind of like this, and I'm going to explain what's the method: syllables, vowels, consonants. You already know how I'm doing it. So this might be really helpful for some people out there who are like, I don't know if I'm saying these things right or wrong. Why not just check a little bit? Plus, this is the exciting part. I couldn't stop there. The most important words. Okay, cool. I know other people, they like other kinds of practice. So every Monday, you're also going to get a monologue. Some people want to work on their rhythm or their intonation. And then every Tuesday, you're going to get a pretty long, pretty substantial tongue twister. So it's not just, oh, here's one word. There's other things you can do in my training program, and I'm always making it bigger and better. So I'm going to be adding to it. That's always, all the upgrades are going to be included. It's like the most amazing thing you can do on your own. You don't have to show up for a class. You don't need to watch a whole video. This video is already pretty long. So it's just 2 minutes a day. So think about if that's helpful for you. If that's the case, the link is down in the description. If not, just keep doing what you're doing. That's cool. But stick with me, because if you're live right now, every Saturday, we're going to be doing these World Cup words, and there's going to be 120 of those. Like we said, some of those are low frequency, but they contain bits that are quite high frequency. So even if you don't like soccer or football, then it's going to be the place to come to really get to know like more of my techniques, right? How to do these things, and then you're going to start spotting it everywhere. You're going to be like, oh my God, that's schwa. Oh yeah, I can hear it, right? There's schwa, there it is. Because it doesn't really matter if you can say these words correctly. It matters that you're building a skill, and what matters most is how you feel. So knowing these things gives us a lot of confidence, and you say, oh, I know I'm right. I can hear it, right? I have that knowledge. To me, that's the most important thing. So guys, stick with me, and we're gonna keep going with this, and I have all these other videos and lives too, but most of all, join the community so that you can always ask me questions as well, and you don't have to come and see me live. So I'm gonna say bye guys, thank you so much for now, and I really love having you here. See you soon for the next one. Bye.